Hello, my friend. I am so happy to have you with us for this fun episode today, full of joy as we get to talk together about new heights in love, what Taylor Swift teaches us about joyful relationships. And I am so thankful that we get to do this episode as we are in that season where we are always bombarded with bad, heavy news, both in our jobs. I'm sure many of us who are fixers, who are helpers, who are just doing hard work, as well as culturally lately. And it is such a dear joy to have little ways you can sprinkle love and fun into your day. And I'm just thankful that we get to celebrate the glow of Taylor's new love, guys. I don't know about you, but I have been following her since before today's co-host with me, Melody, has been born. This is 2006 is when I first started listening, and Taylor put that song Tim McGraw out. I remember it being on the local radio station, and she was even going through like 99.5 as she would get in her song and give little quibs for each radio station she was delivering to. And I just remember thinking, wow, this young artist has such a gift. And to get to follow that arc with her through to this moment where now she has really Enneagram in marriage. She loves her numbers. She loves her hubby that she's about to be married to. And I don't think we have a date set for her, of course, yet, but I love just hearing somebody that we have followed for that long who has finally found a love that she can call her own, and that person is proud to call her his fiance as well. So I'm really happy for her. I'm excited I get to talk to Melody about it because she has grown up on Swift all the time since she was little. We would be singing in the car on road trips, and she's just been such a life of a show girl herself in the sense of performance since she was two. And even at one, Melody was banging on the door to her sister's dance class, and they would let her in at the end so she could dance also. So to see Melody through all of her dancing and piano playing and now singing, even as we talked today, Melody was up there singing. She had an 8-minute solo at church. She had a coffee shop performance earlier this week. Her voice is gone. She belted. She has a very deep, beautiful, rich voice, and a lot of our nines do in the sense of their power. And I love when our nines find their voices. So I'm happy I get to be on today with this topic and this album, talking to somebody who really gets showbiz. And I think even I do a little bit in the sense of podcasting that you know that there's highs, there's lows. And I think a lot of you get that too in your job of having to perform, but also wanting to be real, wanting to be authentic. And I think that's what this entire album is about. So if you need some joy, if you need that splash of fun, if you need to just allow yourself to be grateful and happy for somebody who's doing well, this is an episode for you. Plus, we do get to dive somewhat deep into the process of Taylor's meaning behind her songs and more. But if you are just like, girl, I need an even deeper dive, we have somebody who is so incredibly gifted in the writing space that I'm so excited to tell you about. Mara Eller. You may have heard her on one of our previous podcasts where she taught us about writing as an art form, as a therapeutic form, as a psychological device to get your own healing in your life. And she is walking through this new album for Taylor Swift with not only a course, but also a podcast. And her announcement of that has gone viral. People are so excited to delve in. I saw a 75-year-old woman say, I'm ready for this. I can't wait to dig in. I am ready for it. And she put that fun little quote. And there were so many other people as well saying, I am here for this moment so that I too can do my deep therapeutic work, even as we saw Taylor bring this out in her own life vulnerably. So this is very real, guys, for those who are just thinking this is a passing fancy. No, a lot of the time in life, females haven't had permission to speak out and use their voices in powerful, rich ways, or even just to say, yes, I need to be strong to protect myself, but I also really just want to find somebody who loves me and wants kids with me and wants to make a life with me. That is beautiful that we're getting to see these words spoken out. And if you don't like Taylor, that's a little bit of a clue as to why we do, because she does that, all of that and more with her songs. So not just a fun singer who moved from country to pop and excels at what she does in that probably Enneagram 3 or 8 space. It's much more rich and deep and meaningful. So we're here for the ride with you today, and I hope you're having a great Monday. We've got a couple of other announcements, but let's bring Melody on to share this with us too. I am so glad you are here with us. You are in for such a treat as we process and walk through this album and give you a little bit of a cheat sheet as to what it's about and perhaps something you can take for yourself from it as well. Okay, let's talk to Mel. Welcome, Melody. So excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yay, I'm so glad. And I was just saying to you as I was with you this morning at your own things and also at the coffee shop performance that you had this earlier in the week, and I said, "Girl, you get it. You know all about the life of
Yes.
performance from all of your dance and singing. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself who may not know you and just about you."
Okay, my name is Melody. I grew up doing dance and it's just been so fun and I definitely felt like the life of a showgirl vibes. Like even in such like a smaller atmosphere, like you still get that like performance vibe, especially senior year. I was like junior year I was in every show and it was like for each department. So it was like a lot, but it was like fun because I'm like hearing this and it's like it like makes me think back to those times in some fun ways. But yeah, I did worship team this morning, so if I'm a little scratchy, it's because I literally gave all of my voice to sing. And but we've had a big week because I did worship Tuesday. I asked Kira too for a coffee night. So it's like a big week for singing. But it's been fun and I've been literally loving this album. I've been listening on my ways to Pure Bar for our Pure Bar like fall fit challenge, which has been really fun. It's on the way to USF as well. I've been listening to Life of a Showgirl and I've been loving the reputation and lover vibes I get from it.
And you get it about Taylor sharing in the album about what performance is like. What is one thing for those who are non-performers who are not in that three space a lot that we should know about what it's like up there when things are heated, when things are maybe that pressure is on?
That's a good question. I guess it's kind of like remembering like you don't have to perform like perfectly for the audience to love you and like support you still. You can go up there and give your best and your all, and there's gonna be people who don't like it, and then there's gonna be people saying things, but like in the end, like I just think that like assuming the best in our audiences is like really important as performers, and it helps you to have like a confidence on stage where you're like, you know what, like even though I'm on here and I wasn't able to hit that note or whatever it is, like I still feel like the audience is supporting me and that like carrying that support on through your performance is like really helpful because it gives you a confidence and like a sense that you can do this versus just like assuming like it's not going to go well or just having a pessimistic attitude about it. Like when I perform and I'm like, I just am not going to be able to do this well, like it shows. Like you have to have like this confidence and believe it yourself so that you can, even if you have to gaslight yourself a little bit, so that you can perform your best.
Yeah, that's a good point that you have to give yourself those inner pep talks. You have to connect with your audience and find the supporters. I noticed for this album, Taylor said that there were going to be haters out there, of course, and there's always that, like you just said, but that even sometimes bad press at that early album time can be great. And I noticed on the New Heights podcast, Travis, when he had her and she announced the album, really wanted to say, hey, we know what it's like behind the scenes with her having to use different things after her high heels for blisters. And
Yeah.
I've heard that she's quiet all day before a show. And like, we've really had to walk through that journey with you too, of just, oh my gosh, like you need specific types of cough drops and even like, what's that thing used for your voice?
The steamer. There is definitely a like routine, and it was very reminiscent of like Dance to Me with her high heels, because
Mm,
like in Point we would have like all of these different like blister things and tapes and toe pads and all these different things that you would have to use. And some people even used like little things that were for blisters, and it was like an extra little gel, and you would have to put it on a blister so it'd feel like it's like your real skin on the shoe. It was so weird.
yeah.
But there's like really creepy little secrets that you have to use when you're on point, which is so funny.
That is so interesting. And I love that you truly get what we're climbing into as we talk about this episode. That is just awesome. And what are our announcements for Enneagram and marriage? First, you have been doing such a beautiful job of being a social media head for us lately, getting such fun interviews ahead for us. I can't wait. I'm also grateful for the ones behind. But what are the announcements right now for us?
Yes, we've had so much fun with that. We are prepping all of our fall episodes. We're thinking of doing an Only Murders in the Building one and a Stranger Things one. So we have those coming up soon. And we also have the Ennea Summit on midlife and beyond coming up soon. Those are always such a great opportunity for community and seeing just like new people with thoughtful ideas and strategies in the same field of Enneagram work coming together. And we saw the movie Soul on Fire as well as a second little quick announcement with our friend Rachel and some other people from the Enneagram community in it, which was so fun. And it was such a powerful movie with such a meaningful story, and it just had us all wrecked, but like in a good way. It was so good.
Yes, shout out to Rachel and Tim. We saw you guys in the movie. It was really fun to see people we knew as extras. And again, like this is a heartwarming, joyful episode. And we want to welcome you to all the good things we can think of, including this great movie, Soul on Fire, the Enya Summit. And before we get into even farther with the Taylor Swift lore here, I want to let you know that we have a friend who has done such a beautiful job of processing this album. And she is so gifted with writing. In fact, she is hosting a class, somewhat like an AP Lit class on Taylor Swift. And it's so cool because she's driving home literary elements. She's driving home deeper dives for you to delve into your story. And so just know that we're excited for that. And that is in the show notes also, as Mara Eller, you may even remember her, shares this. Her post about this has already gone viral on TikTok, but make sure you follow her in the show notes. But Mel, what is your impression on the life of a showgirl overall? You gave us a hint earlier. Sounds like you really like the album.
Yes, I did. I really liked it. It's a super fun album. It's definitely like sparkly vibes. I was seeing people say like one of the songs almost gave Christmas just because of how like glittery everything sounds. It's so fun. I definitely got Reputation and Lover vibes, like especially with all like the sequins for Lover. And I just like loved Wish List. Like that was my initial fave. Just because it's like so sweet, like the story behind it. It's such a catchy tune. So we've been singing that for the past like 2 weeks. And then I've really also loved Elizabeth Taylor and Opalite's up there too. And then also The Fate of Ophelia, of course. That one's so good. And honestly, Canceled has been really fun for like my drives to Pure Bar when I'm really tired and I need like a pump up song. But I think it's fun. It suits her season she's in now.
Yeah, you're right. In the past, she's learned to exercise that cautious discretion that we've heard about her hoping and wishing. And now she's turning that into, oh my gosh, it's here and it's real. And I think we've seen past lovers, boyfriends, she has been vulnerable enough to share with, her own really episodic music prior. And she's really let us into the fact that it's been hard, it's been vulnerable. Most people haven't been able to hang on to this life of a showgirl. And so finding Travis Kelsey who can and who's doing it with joy, I think is why this album is so sparkly and joyful. Would you agree?
Mhm. I agree, definitely, yeah.
Aw, and did you notice they were also making sourdough just like you and I? I loved your
Yes, that was
cinnamon.
so cute. That was so cute. I saw she's been bringing it to like all her interviewees, and it's like so sweet
Oh my
with little
God.
like bread puns and stuff. I know she's doing lemon blueberry a lot too.
Oh, okay. We've got to try that one. Okay, so we're going to go track by track. We're going to just lead a little bit of discussion so that you can enjoy your listening even more. And starting with the song Melody alluded to being amazing. This is one of my top two right now, The Fate of Ophelia. And this opening track has such an interesting tone. It really starts us off with beautiful narrative control. Who gets to tell your story? And we have Ophelia as the tragic character from Hamlet, who's often portrayed as this passive, driven, mad kind of person. And it is so cool that we get to see that her fate has something better here. Taylor Swift thought she was going to be like that too. And if we rewrite that narrative, we can do so much in our marriages. And you guys know that too, that she does not have to live that life anymore, even though that may have been what we had heard was the fate of Ophelia. And we're giving her a much better tonality. And I also, it makes me think of a book in the psychological world we've talked about briefly on this pod before, Reviving Ophelia, as we talk about hope for women. So it's something I learned at grad school in Wheaton. And I love that we get to see such a gorgeous song where she says, "You found me." There's a humility there. Did you like that or notice any of that with me?
Yes, I loved that. I also loved how the lyrics said keep it 100 because 87 is Travis's jersey number for football and 13 is Taylor's like obviously lucky number. So they make 100 together. So it's so cute how she's like keep it 100 on the land, the sea, the sky. And she said that was like based off of that. So she has cute like little Easter eggs put throughout the song and they point back to him. And also in her music video, he like throws the football at her and like you don't see him, but like someone throws a football and it's like a little Easter egg to him too. So I think it's fun how they're like alluding to all these little things.
Me too. That's so cute. And it's just a glowy, beautiful song. So highly recommend that one if you're gonna check out any of the album. That's already getting the most plays, I noticed, for a very good reason. And what do you think of track two, Elizabeth Taylor?
I really like it because it's looking at someone who's lived their whole life in the public eye, like Taylor, and she's constantly scrutinized for her relationships, her choices, her beauty, and this is literally exactly what's been happening to Taylor all of these years. And I mean, Taylor's been in this business since she was what, 14? So like she has so much experience with this showgirl lifestyle. And it's the same as Elizabeth Taylor, but I don't know her story as well. Like Taylor's legacy of starting at 13, like it heightens things. Um, I really love the sense of reclaiming your own story and not caring what others think about you and just bringing your magic to the world.
Yeah, I love that. And it's neat that she can find a resonant character, even if she has to look far back, which she often does with starlets from Hollywood, and find somebody who's been there. I think that's also a really big theme of this album is who has gone before me and what can they teach me about the life of a woman in show business. And Elizabeth Taylor, you know what? Yes, I happened to see her in the June Allison version of Little Women. That's the one I watched when I was a little
Yes,
girl, the
yeah.
black and white. She played Amy and she looks extremely young, definite teenager. So I remember then I'm older, and then she's with Michael Jackson and all these different men. And people were always like, is she pretty? Is she not? Did she have plastic surgery? Did she not? And my dad also said my mom was an Elizabeth Taylor growing up. And that was like,
That's
you know
so
how you
sweet.
have like your movie star person that somebody thinks
Mhm.
you're like. And he would be like, my wife is like Elizabeth Taylor, Natalie Wood, I think was the other one. But it's like men looked at that as their partner. And
Yeah.
now, and you know, I think now we take it farther where men are like, and partners are like, oh, what is this all about with Taylor Swift? But as your dad said to me when I was explaining it to him, he said, well, I'm happy if you're happy. And I think that's how men are being with Taylor Swift. Like they're like, maybe
Yeah.
not comparing us to Taylor, but they're like, hey, if she's making you happy, we need joy in this world, right?
Yes. Almost wonder if she did Elizabeth Taylor with her name being Taylor. I never even
Oh
thought of that for
my
some
gosh.
reason.
Yeah,
But
good point. I
if she
never
had like
thought.
a little keepsake with that, I don't know what her middle name is. I think it's Allison.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I really loved it. I thought that it characterizes like being visible in any way to a public space and a public form of people is going to be scrutinizing, and people are going to think that they know you and
Hmm.
they don't, and they only know like this glamorized, like rose tinted version of your life. And so I think that like just deciding like I'm going to be who I am, and like if you like it, that's okay. If you don't, that's okay as well. Like I'm still going to put my music and my platform out there. Like that's just so special. And I really just saw that reflected in this song.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. And I think you're on track with Elizabeth and Taylor both had to continue making their own mark despite so many people giving them heck for being who they were
Yeah.
and who they are for Taylor. So let's talk about opalite. We know that opalite is a man-made or woman-made iridescent glass jewel that represents sort of a self-created joy. And so
Mhm.
this song is also a tribute, we think, to her fiance Travis, whose birthstone is opal, and it's contrasting their relationship that's authentically made, finding your own, making your own happiness. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. We love talking about authenticity on this podcast. Do you have anything to add? It's a joyful song.
It is a really fun song. I really like the bridge of it. It's super fun. When she's like, it's like, and then there's like people singing, and then it's like, don't you sweat it, baby, it's all right. It's so cute. Like she does like a little like key change, and it was like so like I could picture Travis listening to it and being like, this is so fun. Like this one's my favorite. Like it was so cute. And I also heard her saying that she used it because it was man-made, like diamonds can be. And I know she's used diamonds in a lot of her songs before, but it just showed that like things that are man-made can be beautiful too. And was kind of providing light to that because obviously now so many things are man-made that's like kind of sad, like with pollution and everything with environment stuff. And I don't know if this was her plan for the song, but it's sweet to see something that is man-made that is beautiful and she's found connection with.
Yeah. And in this case, a man. And so
Yeah.
that is so fun. And she's like, hey, you know what? A man made my day, and I'm happy because I'm not ashamed to say I want love. There's an audacious I'm self-creating. And I love how you also reference the diamonds because I know somebody is probably listening going, you forgot to mention that with Elizabeth Taylor. And there's just so many Easter eggs I didn't. Yes,
Mhm.
I remember her perfume, Elizabeth Taylor's perfume is all about diamonds as well. And so they both have that luxurious theme going too, that
Mhm.
people have challenged over the years. So let's look at father figure.
I have been loving this one. I forgot to mention it earlier. This one is so good. I This is such a song for Oreo, our dog, with how he says, "I'll protect the family," because he's always barking at people outside, and he's literally just the epitome of the song with his "I protect the family, leave with me." And it's like they don't make loyalty like they used to. Like it's literally so Oreo coded. So we have been loving this. We keep singing it like every time we see him, but I just love it. It's so good. The like bridge into like the next chorus is like so good. And every time it
Mm.
plays, I'm like, everyone listen, like this is such a good part.
Okay, yes, she is so good with musicality, and Melody being a body type is picky. Also, like not only the three part of you, but the body type part of you is like you're like, I will tell you if it's not good. And like when you say that it's a good bridge, I love that, and I see that about you, that there's a healthy perfectionism. You know, it can be a worthy song, even if it's not just what you like, but when you see something beautiful, you're really excited. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, it's been such fun lore about our dog too, but really we know this piece came from some wounds we're understanding more as she lets us into her part of that narrative that there was somebody who treated her badly at the earlier parts of her journey in many ways, and she's finally able to recompense and make her own money and rise above and name things that happened to her and no longer be victimized. So I think there's a great play on words that somebody can say, "Hey, I'm your father figure," but you get to, at the end of the day, decide who has influence in your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that. I love that lesson for our Gen Zers and millennials and just everyone still figuring that out. How about oldest daughter? I know that we've listened to that one quite a bit too.
Yes, we have. This one is like really special for I think like all of the millennials out there who grew
Mm,
up with like almost Gen Z or younger millennial siblings listening to this. Because that's kind of Taylor's generation and like I felt her speaking on that through this song of all of those who have been like protective over the siblings, but also like feeling like they've been stereotyped over the
mm,
years. It just really spoke to that and spoke to the feeling of having to hold everything together and just like that performance aspect of being a showgirl.
yeah.
She kind of translated it over to also like having to perform as an oldest sibling and feel like you have to be perfect.
Yeah. And did you also catch that she's like, I've learned some things about that, and I'm not going to just carry on that mantle. Like, I will continue to take care of my people. I will continue to fight for the loyalty of my people, but I'm also going to let myself step into my life. That's what I got from it too, which was
Oh,
powerful.
me too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was playing that with Hannah as well. Just like you're allowed to step into your
Yeah.
life. Every oldest daughter is probably really enjoying that song quite a bit.
Mhm.
I need to send it to my sister as well, my sister Holly. Um, Now, Ruin the Friendship, we know, has come with some sorrow for Taylor because it's a song that we are told is about a past romance that she was not able to fulfill because she felt awkward. And you hear that in the song that she lost somebody, somebody passed away, and she didn't get a chance to really try things out. So there's a sense and a message of leaning in with what you want to try out, even if it feels uncomfortable or scary or daunting. Like you get this precious life, so make sure you live it well with
Mhm.
intention. That's the message we like to give here a lot too. And of course, not doing things foolishly. But she even explains in the song that it was an ex-girlfriend that she didn't want to offend. So it's like now she's like, oh, I wish I would have done that. Do you have anything thoughts about
Yeah.
that? Do you love that one?
I like this one. I thought it was kind of about deepening a friendship more so than ruining it. Like that concept of like, I want, like, her goal was like having this friendship form into this beautiful relationship
Yes.
where it's just deepened. But
Yes.
like, there was this fear holding her back of like, I don't want to lose this beautiful friendship that I have though and I've made. And I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's so like real and something that like happens so often. And it's just like, I really liked seeing her write about something that's like, actually what her audiences are going through and
Mm,
was based on a personal experience she had. Like it wasn't like a clearly like a made up story. I just
yeah.
thought it was really special.
Wow, that is really a good. You just added the actual title of the song, and you're right, because that what would have been the risk, right?
Mhm.
Is what if I don't say anything and I miss it? But even worse, what if I ruin the friendship? And you're reminding sometimes it's worth it to
Yeah.
rattle things. You're right. This is a song that so many people can relate to. Now, track seven, what about actually romantic? Is there anything there that you picked up on as we were looking at that? Because I was reading about that this morning and it's such an interesting song.
I thought it was cute how it was speaking like against like all the haters she's gotten and
Mhm.
like how they spend so much time curating like these long comments and emails and like letters to her and then she's like it's actually romantic how much time you spent on me. Like she's just romanticizing it like
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like you've literally spent 3 hours talking about me to your girlfriend. Like that's actually romantic whether you like it or not. Like I just thought it was like silly
Yeah.
and very just like she was just like talking about the pettiness of all of this and like just being open about it.
Yep. It's really neat. And there are people that she's referencing in it too that we won't name here, but that are, we all have our own people where we're like, oh, and then you miss me, but then you were thinking so much about me, but like we missed each other in this world and we're not going to be my person. But also there's a sense of, back off on trying to think that you're making my life worse. I'm actually just noticing how much you think about me, and I'm not going to let that take me down. And certainly in many of her songs, we see vulnerability where she pulls back a little bit of that Enneagram, vulnerability. I would say Enneagram 8-ish or 3-ish vulnerability and says, like, actually, it does hurt. But in this case, she's like, I've either worked through it or this one didn't even hurt. And so just not letting everything get you down just because somebody doesn't like you, which we get that all the time with our big Instagram account and podcast. And I say that only because not that we're super big, there's many people bigger than us. But when I say that, I mean like there's so many people filtering through. So even though we get largely positive, we do get some negative people. And you have to know who your people are and that you can't let people who hate you actively get to you, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I really love this next one. This is like my favorite of the tracks right now.
Yes.
As wish list, as I mentioned earlier. It's just so good. Like the musicality of it, like it's just like it feels like one of those songs you just like want to be singing like with your windows rolled down in your car, like little girls' night. Like it's just so fun. And I love the line about like how she just wants a little house with a basketball hoop in the neighborhood and how she was kind of going back to that normalcy of like family life she's desiring.
Yes. Oh my goodness. How fun. This song is No Wonder You Love Wish List. And this is top of my list too for this, along with Ophelia. And I just think it is so neat that she's coming into the reality that as much as material things are part of life, and I'm sure they certainly are for her being a billionaire, we know that she's realized before publicly, oh gosh, when I'm lonely, all of that just does not matter. Those are not my deepest wishes as much as I am an achiever. And so I like that she could mentor the next generation with that a little bit, that her wish list is pretty simple. The house with the basketball hoop. And I remember having that too when we moved into our house. Remember it had a
Mhm.
basketball hoop out
Yeah.
front when we
I
were like
miss
for
that.
sale. I'm sorry,
I
what?
would like I kind of miss that. Like I feel like that'd be fun to get a new one. We
Yeah,
have
I
a
know.
basketball court right behind our house though, so like it's not really necessary anymore. But like when we moved in, we didn't have that. So we were like able to see that more.
Yeah, that's true. I do miss that little picturesque, but it's like, you know what? It was um we have drivers now. We have teenage drivers and a 20-year-old driver, so we have to make room for all the cars. But I love it. And I love that she's getting that wish list and she's a little bit hopeful. There's a little bit of
Mhm.
caution there when she's like, I hope that I have this. Like, I think I got it. And I think that's great. Cautiously optimistic, not reserved cautiously anymore, but optimistic. And that's great. And that's the song Would also. And as much as we're not going to cover that one even more on this pod, there's a sense of romance, the sexual instinct, her saying, I'm ready for my mate. I can't wait to mate for life. And that's something that, you don't always see anymore. People saying, I want that partner to be the one and only. And I think there's a lot of moral beauty to that statement as well, because she's really allowing herself to find herself beautiful to the one person. And did you get that too from that song that she doesn't have to perform for him, even if she is a showgirl?
Yeah, I definitely got that. I think they're very comfortable around each other and like they're very infatuated by each other no matter what. So like I think they're still in that cute little, I don't even know if it's a phase. Like I think they're just like very obsessed with each other and it's sweet to see.
Yeah. And I think that's really wonderful that you're leaving room for them to maintain that glow, that even if there's going to be different stages of the relationship, this is a true pairing that loves and admires each other.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think that's what we get from that song is I really feel wanted no matter what. I don't have to um, do anything. You already adore me. And that was, I think we were all waiting for that for her. How about canceled?
This one's fun. Yeah, it's definitely playing with cancel culture, with like a lot of the drama that's been happening lately. Like, I don't want to name names either, but like, um, honestly, I thought it was, I guess I can name this because it was nice. I thought that Taylor was standing up for her friend with how she's being canceled lately. And I thought it was a sweet meaning behind it where she was like, all of my best friends are canceled. Like people can get canceled over the silliest things nowadays. And like I still love them. And like we are honestly like the people who are most broken. So we need like the support. And we have that community with each other, but like it just kind of spoke to a lot of the things happening nowadays with just our changing world and everything can be canceled nowadays. So like I thought it was fun how she was just making it into like more of a just like fun song about growing in each other and strengthening those bonds between people who have similar experiences.
Yeah, that's a such, I like have so much enthusiasm around this because anyone who's in leadership understands that there are going to be people who try to cancel you out. And when that happens to my team, I just rise up in such fire for them too. So I
Yes.
get that, whether it's my kids or my actual counseling crew, I just like care so much about my people. And I think that most of us would say that, right? But like when somebody sings about it, you're just like, yes, like my people, even if somebody else doesn't like them, like I'm not going to abandon them. And that's something that
Yeah.
takes a lot of maturity because we could easily run away and say, like, oh, they don't like you. I don't like you either. But I like how she's standing up for her people and saying, we don't have to be always winning to have each other's love and support. We love each other on the days we're not popular because she's already had so much flack in the past. So she no longer can rely on
Mhm.
everyone liking her all the time. There's so many people in the past who put her down that I think she realizes I need people to love me on my good days and my hard days. And I hope you and I have that and every listener too and develop community like that. Okay, this is going into its own podcast episode. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's just such a good album overall. It's so fun.
Yes. And that's why I love that you really mentioned that one a couple times. Okay, what about Honey? It's sweet, it's tender. What do you think about that one?
I really like Honey. It's definitely giving like it's giving cottagecore vibes, kind of like a little cottage out in the middle of the woods with like little honeybees flying around and like baking and like I just don't know, it's like cute little vibes. It's she's talking about how people have used the term to be demeaning towards her and like hurtful and like just like a downgrading way. But
Mhm.
like she's reframing it of like you can call me honey because you actually mean it in a nice and like sweet way instead of like this horrible way. So I thought it was like so fitting for especially like women in the workforce today, how we get called like sweetheart or honey, and it's like meant in this like super mean way. And I loved how she was reframing it and using it for a good purpose.
Yeah, I like that too. I love how you described the sound of it. It reminds me of Sweet and Nothing off of
Yeah,
another
yeah.
track. And I think that that's really cool how you landed with her really showing us that there can be so many people who have this layered approach in life, and some are going to mean it rudely. I remember somebody doing that to me at one of my previous jobs when I left the counseling world a little to support dad through medical school. And somebody kept calling me sweetheart and honey. And I
Uh,
actually said, hey, can you not do that? Because it was a
Good for you.
constant. And the way
Yeah.
they were saying it was derogatory. And then he would actually say it on purpose after that. And
My
he was
God.
just always like, "Oh, okay, sweetheart, no problem, sweetheart." And I was like, "Oh
That's
my
so,
gosh,
I
like this is
can't
such a
handle
rude awakening." But
that.
it was something I had to work through. And we ended well, by the way. And he still writes on Facebook, "Happy birthday," and all these things like 10 years later. And I'm just like, "Oh my
That's so
God."
funny.
Yeah, he doesn't say sweetheart anymore. So,
That's
hopefully we're all learning together. What about the last track, Life of a Showgirl? And this is yours,
I thought
hun.
this
So
one
you
was
get to share
fun.
this, hun.
It took me it took me a little to like get into this one, but like now that I'm in it, I'm really liking it and
Mhm.
I feel like it's a fun like almost like acoustic guitar like folky vibe, but like also it's still in the pop realm. And I think her and Sabrina's voices really complement each other well. I grew up watching Sabrina and Girl Meets World. So like to me, this sounds like the Girl Meets World theme song that I originally heard her on, and it's like a cute little nostalgic way.
Oh my gosh, that's really neat that you can hear her and her whole archetype in this as well, which was so thoughtful of Taylor, right? To put
Hmm.
her into it.
That was so sweet.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And also, I love the messaging that we have just seen as a whole here that we have women who have come before giving Taylor advice and Sabrina advice and saying it's really going to be hard to just be upfront. And you seriously get that, Melody. I know you sometimes you're told, don't lean over this way, don't do that, stand up straight, right? Like all these things that people tell you when you're up there.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, and I really liked how this song was able to make light of it, but also like get into the topic fully. And also the bridge of it is so good. I love the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Anything else you want to say about this track or anything else on the album?
I just like really saw her joy reflected in it. I saw just her happiness in the season right now, just throughout the album, and think that she had a really fun time making it. I know she mentioned like going back to old artists she worked with for like 1989, and I thought it was like I could definitely get that vibe from it for 1989, and it was just like a fun album for like a little night out. And I think that her and Travis are gonna have fun listening to this. Some of her other albums, like Tortured Poet, was like one where she's like more heartbroken and it was like more realistic, but this one was just like a celebration album, which was fun.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that we all need to remember that as much craziness is out there right now, you're allowed to have moments of joy even as you're constantly also probably processing, wow, this world has been crazy lately. But we have to have homeostasis in our bodies. We can't all day go, okay, I'm going to study my classes for you and really hard. And then I'm going to go work. And then for me, I'm going to go hear all the counseling. And then I'm going to go tune in and pray for everything all day without any breaks and tune into politics and everything, the things on my heart, quite honestly. Multiple times we've had great, deep conversations about hard things this weekend, even. But you also need the lightness. And this is where this album comes in. Like you said, Tortured might be for a
Oh,
different moment.
definitely. Yeah, it came in a lot.
Yeah, this came at the right time because everyone needs a little bit. So I hope that even if people don't love Taylor, they can enjoy some light music. But I hope this album speaks to you because it really is a burst of joy in a dark season.
It really is. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Melody, so much for joining us. We're so happy to have had you today. I am, at least personally, and I know you are our most popular guest to date. People love hearing what you're doing. So thanks for sharing
That
all of
is so
your own moments.
sweet. Oh, thank you. I had so much fun. I love doing this and I love the album. So make sure to give it a listen and leave a little review for us. But I loved having this time with you and getting to do a little debrief.
Me too. Thank you. And I look forward to our Stranger Things time and Only
Yes, that's
Murders.
gonna be so fun. Yes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining for this special episode. I hope you loved diving deep, but also really being playful and just allowing ourselves to celebrate love and bring this energy into our weeks where we are realizing that there are beautiful things worth fighting for and hanging on for. I hope you keep that in mind. I hope you check out Mara's course. You can dive deeper. That is all in the show notes as well. Make sure you let us know if you like this episode by chatting about it in the Spotify or on Apple, leaving a review. Make sure you hit like and subscribe wherever you listen so you can keep tuning in with us. Love having you. Bye-bye. Thank you again for listening with us. It was so wonderful to have you. I love knowing we're doing this journey together, not perfectly, but with love, grace, and hopefully some fun too. If you loved today's episode, make sure you leave us a 5-star review at Apple Podcast or Spotify so others can find it too. Visit our show notes so you can get all the links from today's show, as well as enneagramandmarriage.com, the Instagram, the Facebook, and all over the place. Make sure you spread the word. Love living intentionally with you. Bye-bye.